There's something I've been feeling for a while now. Something that I know if I've been feeling, I know you guys have been feeling probably 10 times worse, 10 times as long as I have. And there's an interesting community on Twitch. It's not like any other social media platform out there. It's a community of the people who have felt alone their entire lives, a community of people that have gone to school and had to hide from the majority of socialization who, I remember, I'm 30 years old. I'm a little older than most of you guys, but I remember being in middle school and high school and being around people who were laughing at how dumb Pokemon was and feeling the pressure to laugh with them and then going home and playing Pokemon for a couple hours and remembering the loneliness of what that felt like. And this is the group of people that are on this platform. And unfortunately, when you combine that group of people, which I think are absolutely incredible, that this group of people has finally found a community where they feel like-minded with thousands or millions of other people. You go into a chat room and you feel like you have a common bond with everyone in there, a bond that you've never been able to find in real life. And then you combine that with the competitive nature of social media, of getting followers, getting verified, getting sponsors. And you just get this weird problem that honestly, I don't think there's a solution to, at least not as a whole. I don't think we can solve this for everyone. I don't think this is Twitch's problem. I think this is just the nature of what's bound to happen. But I do think if we can recognize it and address it, I think individually we can solve this for each other. Because succeeding on Twitch is really hard to do. And not just succeeding on Twitch, but this is the first time that the act of sitting in your room playing video games can actually lead to a mainstream and a career with a lot of potential. And the majority of people around us don't believe it. Even myself, I've been a full-time social media content creator for 5 years. I used to make Vines. My full time was making Vines for 2 years. I would go out all day. I'd buy bottles and fill it with colored water and bang on them on camera and edit it into a little 6-second Vine. And I turned that into a career. I proved to my family that I was able to do this. I did it with my wife. We were in Times Square on one of the TVs in Times Square on a Gap ad because Gap saw one of our Vines and wanted us to create an ad for them. And still, when I started this career, when I found Twitch and I knew this is what I want to do. This is the platform for me. I was getting calls from my mom saying, "What are you doing playing video games while your wife is alone?" This is my wife, who is, by the way, my greatest teammate in the world. I couldn't ask for a greater wife. But she grew up in a family of girls, 1 boy, 4 girls, 1 boy, and she believed that video games were evil for a very long time. Not evil, but she was a big advocate against video games, and I had a hard time getting support from her. And you just feel alone when you have no one supporting you because this is such an interesting career. And you add that on top of being in a group of outcasts and suddenly feeling, when you've been streaming for 0 people, which half of the streamers on Twitch are streaming for 0 people, when you stream for 0 people for days in a row, and you just feel like you are an outcast of the outcasts. And I was there for a year. And you feel it's the lowest of the low. How in this group of outcasts, how can you not find a single person to support you? And in the real world, no one supports you. And it's not I want you to know that you're not alone feeling that. You've got 10 million other people in the same boat feeling the same way. And every single one of them has people in real life telling them, why are you doing this? Why are you sitting in your room playing video games, trying to discourage you? And if I could encourage you to do something here real quick, if you could find a friend to do this with, it's going to be a game changer for you. It's going to be a lifesaver for you. But you have to know that that's not going to end. There's always discouragement, and especially in this field, it's not going to go away. And you think that when you get 100 viewers a year, it's gonna stop. People are going to want to be your friend. You're going to start networking, and you're going to start meeting people. But you start getting messages from people that when you had 0 viewers wouldn't give you the time of day, and now they're messaging you saying, "Hey, let's play sometime." And you can't help but feel like they don't care about you. They just want you because you're popular, and they want to feed off of your popularity, and the loneliness doesn't stop. And the discouragement is not going to stop. If you're going to make it through this, if you're going to come out on top, you have to have a certain personality type. And it's not something that you're born with. It's something that you have to it's something you have to create within yourselves. This discouragement needs to be your fuel. Because if you let it bring you down and it never ends, you're going to be, even if you succeed, you're going to be depressed. You have to have, obviously they can't be the driving motivation behind everything you do. You don't want to have the chip on your shoulder and say, I'm going to become successful because I want to spite all these people that didn't believe in me. You have to do it because you love it. But you're going to get discouragement, and you can choose to do one of two things with it. You can either let it drag you down and destroy you and make you depressed, or you can harness that and let it sit on a shelf in the back of your mind and know that one day, in 2 to 3 years, when there are more Twitch ads on TV and Twitch streamers are becoming mainstream, those people that made fun of you or told you it wasn't going to happen, they're going to see you on TV. And they're going to feel really stupid. And remembering that will help you out. It will go a very long way. I had, about 1.5 years ago, I had an idea. And it's when I started Alpha Gaming. And it was going to be an org, and it was when I was really into Halo, and I got a couple teammates. I got an investor, and I sold them on my idea, but I also sold them on me. I showed them what I'd done on social media before. I told them I could do it again, and kind of sold them on the idea of what we're doing now. And we rented a house. We got a bunch of equipment, and we did daily team streams. And from day one of the teammates would whisper in the other one's ear and turn him against me. It was really weird. I think he didn't expect that he was going to have to work. He thought that once we got the money, everything was fine and dandy. But once he realized I expected him to stream and play and actually make this happen, it turned him off. And he would go back to the investor, who was actually his contact to begin with, and start saying things that weren't true and telling him I was screwing everything up and I wasn't doing what I promised. And it was only 2 months, and the investor backed out and the teammates bailed. And it was hard not to take it personally, because what I had sold this guy on was me. And to have a businessman who understands that business growth takes time, who understands how the business development works, turn around in 2 months and say, I don't believe in you anymore. I want all my investment back. I want all the equipment back, was a blow to the face. And there's a part of me that hangs on to that and puts it in the back of my head and says, one day we're going to cross paths again. It's not like I'm never going to see this guy for the rest of my life. And I can't wait for him to ask me how things are going, because I'm gonna be able to tell him, that little investment money you put into this could be worth this much, because this is, I'm not gonna be spiteful and angry at him. I want to be able to smile at him and let him know I did it without him. And hanging on to that has pushed me incredibly far. You're going to feel really lonely on this journey. And I know you already are right now. And you might not feel like anyone around you feels the same way as you do. But everybody knows what you're going through. And if you reach out, you're going to find people that you can relate to, and someone that you can hold hands with and go on the journey together. And I don't want this whole thing to sound like it's like an ad for my Discord. That's not the point. But I want you to know that if you don't have any other place to turn, the reason I kept the name of this channel and this Discord Alpha Gaming and not change it to Harris Heller or Stream Doctors or anything is because I wanted this to be about you guys. I wanted it to be about the community. We're building something absolutely incredible, and I really considered changing it to Stream Doctors a while ago. But I saw how much this was affecting the people that were in the Discord and in the community. I saw how genuine they were and how they felt like it affected them, and I wanted to keep it about them. And that's why I just recently turned off the @everyone tag whenever I went live. I didn't want my Discord that was about the community to be advertising my stream. It felt disingenuous, so I turned that off. And I've added a bunch of new text channels for finding people. There's an anime text channel. There's a tech text channel. There's you can post pictures of your setup and talk about new gear, talk about upcoming games, talk about your latest fandom, whether it's Harry Potter or Star Trek or whatever. I created a lot of different areas for people to meet each other. And so if you're feeling alone, just know that that's a place where you can go and find someone who you can relate to. So you don't have to be on this journey by yourself. Because you probably feel like you are. And I don't know if there was really an ending to this video. The reason I'm kind of doing this is there's always been a disconnect. So I'm not looking at the camera a lot. There's always been a disconnect between the thought processing side of my brain and the emotional side of my brain. Most people, when they have these kind of like deep thoughts, they're able to, their body translates them into emotions, and then they get that, it dissipates out. That's how they get it out. And I don't really have that release, because for some reason my thoughts just stay thoughts, and there's a disconnect. They don't translate over to emotions. And so this is kind of my outlet for that kind of thing, for me to get it off my brain. Because if I don't, my head will just spin and spin, and I lose sleep over these things because I can't. There's no release. So hopefully we can get some editors on this channel soon, and so I can reopen the Harris Heller channel, and any of these thoughts I can just share on there. But anyway, guys, I hope you relate to this. I hope that you recognize that there are other people feeling the same way you are, and you learn to harness those feelings and that discouragement and turn it into a positive, turn it into your fuel. Anyway, with that, as always, guys, happy streaming.